In literature, some stories don't just touch our hearts, they echo our silent cries and whispered dreams. Today, we venture into the pages that resonate with raw emotion and real struggles. Get ready for the top 3 books that define the world of sad girl lit. We'll explore this fascinating trend in modern literature through these 3 works, and don't let the name sad girl lit fool you. This genre is all about raw emotions, relatability, and the roller coaster of young adulthood. You've probably seen sad girl lit titles on bestseller lists or your friend's Instagram story. They're everywhere. But what makes sad girl lit so compelling? First off, it's the internet age. Digital platforms like Tumblr, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram have become hubs for emotional and personal content, giving writers a space to share and readers a place to connect. And our society has also been making great strides in discussing mental health more openly. This acceptance and conversation create a space for literature that addresses themes of melancholy, heartbreak, and healing. And it's not just in books. Music and film have embraced the raw and the real. Artists like Billie Eilish and Lana Del Rey echo the same sentiments that you'll find in Sad Girl Lit. There's also something to be said about authenticity. In an era of filters and curated online images, there's a hunger for stories that reflect genuine experiences, feelings, and challenges. And another aspect of the sad girl lit movement is how women's voices have taken center stage in recent years, and the literary world is no exception. Sad girl lit often emphasizes the female experience, yet its themes are universally relatable. But the real beauty of this genre, where does it lie? It's not just about the sad moments. Many of these works highlight resilience, hope, and the journey to find one's place in the world. After all, it's in our most vulnerable moments that we often find our strength. Coming in at number 3 is Sylvia Plath's The Bell Jar. And while the book predates the contemporary characterization of the sad girl lit movement, its themes and Plath's raw emotional prose make it a foundational text for the genre. It embodies key aspects of sad girl lit in its exploration of mental illness, societal expectations, and the intimate struggles of a young woman. The Bell Jar is semi-autobiographical, drawing heavily from Plath's experiences, and while the characters and some events are fictionalized, the novel's emotional truths closely align with Plath's life. Initially, Plath published the story in 1963 under the pseudonym Victoria Lucas, primarily to protect the individuals represented in the book, and it was only after her tragic suicide in 1963 that the novel was republished under her real name. Sylvia Plath battled depression for much of her life, and her struggles are mirrored in the narrative of The Bell Jar. The novel was written during a particularly tumultuous time in her life, and her marriage to fellow poet Ted Hughes strained, and her mental health was deteriorating. Now, the novel is set in the 1950s and follows the story of Esther Greenwood, a young woman who has won a guest editorship at a magazine in New York City. And like Plath, Esther hails from the Boston suburbs and is an inspiring writer. And while Esther should be living her dream in the bustling world of Manhattan's media scene, she instead finds herself disillusioned by the vapid nature of the work and the societal expectations placed upon her. So instead of feeling elated or motivated, she feels disconnected and lost. Returning home, Esther's mental health continues to deteriorate. She struggles with the weight of societal expectations for women, marriage, motherhood, and career, and feels trapped as if she's inside a stifling bell jar. The bell jar symbolizes her mental illness, a barrier between her and the world, distorting her view and trapping her. I felt very still and very empty, the way the eye of a tornado must feel, moving dully along in the middle of the surrounding hullabaloo. This quote perfectly captures Esther's feelings of isolation amid the chaos of life. It's raw, it's real, and it resonates. Esther's depression becomes so severe that she makes several suicide attempts. The narrative provides a harrowing look into psychiatric treatments at the time as well, including electroconvulsive therapy. The novel ends on a somewhat ambiguous note. Esther is about to face a panel to decide whether she can leave the mental institution. And while there is a hint of hope as Esther feels she has regained a semblance of herself, the future remains uncertain. Throughout the bell jar, Plath provides a candid, unflinching look into the psyche of a young woman battling depression, making it a foundational work in literature that focuses on the intricate inner lives of women, especially those facing mental health challenges. The novel's enduring appeal lies in the honest portrayal of Esther's struggles, which remain relatable and poignant even today. This leads us to number 2 on our Sad Girl Lit list, Elizabeth Wurtzel's Prozac Nation. This compelling memoir has become synonymous with the raw emotive style associated with the sad girl lit genre. It's a candid look at Wurtzel's personal journey with depression and her experiences growing up during the late 20th century. Prozac Nation is one of the first memoirs that delves into the personal experience of living with depression at a young age, and at its publication in 1994, open discussions about mental health, especially in young adults, weren't as prevalent as today. The book's title refers to Prozac, one of the first widely used antidepressants, which began to be prescribed in the 1980s. The title aptly critiques the emerging quick-fix culture of psychiatric medication. The memoir drew both praise and criticism, and while many lauded Wurtzel's candidness about her mental health struggles, others found her narrative style self-indulgent. Nevertheless, it was pivotal in opening up discussions about depression among young women. Wurtzel begins the memoir by sharing anecdotes from her early life, detailing the roots of her depression. Growing up in New York City with divorced parents and an absent father, she faced challenges contributing to her loneliness and sadness. As she enters Harvard, what should be an exciting new chapter in her life quickly becomes the backdrop for a deepening depression. The pressures of academia, a budding career in music journalism, and personal relationships intertwine, leading Wurtzel into a downward spiral. Wurtzel vividly portrays the heavy reliance she developed on medication and therapy to navigate her daily life, and the memoir provides an insider's view of the American mental health system during the late 20th century, highlighting failures and benefits. Amid that struggle with depression, Wurtzel touches upon the strain it also puts on her relationships. Friends, lovers, and family are all affected, showing that mental illness doesn't only impact the individual's suffering, but also their entire support system. The core of Prozac Nation revolves around Wurtzel's introspection as she tries to find a reason for her suffering. She struggles with understanding whether her depression results from her environment, biology, or both. That is all I want in life, for this pain to seem purposeful. This sentiment, seeking meaning in pain, echoes throughout the essence of Sad Girl Lit, and Prozac Nation remains a seminal work in this genre because of its raw portrayal of a young woman's battle with depression in an era when such conversations only began to emerge in the mainstream. Wurtzel's narrative is as much personal memoir as it is reflecting a generation coming of age amid new challenges and societal shifts. And finally, we have My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Ottessa Moshfegh in our number 1 spot. Imagine wanting to sleep away a year of your life. Sounds intriguing, doesn't it? Ottessa Moshfegh's My Year of Rest and Relaxation has garnered attention as a representative piece of contemporary sad girl lit for exploring isolation, ennui, and self-discovery in a modern setting. Published in 2018, Moshfegh's novel responds to the current world's disconnection and discontent. It navigates the feelings of alienation that can arise despite living in an era of perceived abundance and opportunity. The author is known for her unique, darkly comedic approach to complex emotional states. She often creates characters on the fringes of society or detached from their own lives in some manner. And My Year of Rest and Relaxation is no exception and showcases her distinctive voice. The novel is narrated by an unnamed protagonist, a young, beautiful, and wealthy woman living in New York City at the turn of the millennium. And despite seemingly having it all, she's miserable. The book's central premise is the protagonist's desire to enter a state of hibernation. She feels an overwhelming urge to sleep for a year, hoping that this extended rest and detachment will bring about a personal transformation or rebirth. And to achieve her goal of hibernation, she turns to a questionable psychiatrist, Dr. Tuttle, who prescribes a cocktail of medications. This allows the protagonist for sleep days on end, interspersed with brief, often drug-fueled periods of wakefulness. Sleep felt productive. Something was getting sorted out. I knew in my heart this was perhaps the only thing my heart knew back then, that when I'd slept enough, I'd be okay. I'd be renewed, reborn. Perhaps if I slept for a year, I'd feel reborn too. Another interesting aspect of the novel is the relationship with the protagonist's best friend, Riva. Riva essentially serves as a contrast to her. Riva is deeply engaged with the world, dealing with her own problems, including an ailing mother and issues with body image. And the interactions between the two offer a critique of modern society's superficial values. As the year progresses, the protagonist's self-imposed isolation begins to blur the lines of reality and artifice. And this becomes evident when she starts participating in an art project with the controversial artist Ping Shi. Her exploration of art becomes a significant part of her journey toward self-discovery and transformation. My Year of Rest and Relaxation stands out in the sad girl lit genre because it explores modern life's paradoxes profoundly. And while the protagonist is often unlikable, her journey resonates with readers who understand the feelings of detachment and the yearning for meaning in a seemingly indifferent world. Moshfegh's novel captures the essence of a generation's discontent, making it an important read for those seeking to understand the nuances of a modern emotional landscape. So, there you have it, our top 3 picks for quintessential sad girl lit: raw emotions, real struggles, and relatable journeys. And if you're in the mood for introspective reads, you now know where to start. If you enjoyed this video, press that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any Learning with Dr. K content. And until next time, happy reading.